مئیر پیٹرک براون.
It's a privilege to be up here with such impressive organizers, Brother Luckman, my friend صفدر, me and ندیم, who's like family, Milena, Omar. Thank you for the kind words. And let me say, I know it's a beautiful day outside, but I look around this room and I see so many friends, and I say thank you for being here today to have this conversation about how we make Brampton an even greater city. And right now I look at our city and I say it is a great time to be a Bramptonian. It's a great time to be a Bramptonian because this city has so much talent, so much tenacity, so much resilience that I look at the future of this city and it excites me. It does. And let me give you a few reasons why. And you mentioned the hospital. Right now they're already doing the environmental work in front of the old decommissioned Hill Memorial. We've been given approval for $1 billion. That's $1 billion with a B to build a new hospital there. 24/7 full service emergency. It's going to take us 5 years to build, but we are getting that second hospital. That's coming to Brampton. That's done. The tender is issued. We're finally getting that much needed healthcare investment. But we're taking a different approach. You know, for a long time when you turned on the TV, you wouldn't hear from the Brampton mayor. Sometimes we were too quiet. Sometimes we were too polite. Well, the approach we've taken is to shake things up. My goal was, when Brampton's not being given its fair share, to make sure we break into the media conversation. So people actually pay attention to our city, that we're not forgotten. One of the first things that our council did, and I'm going to single them out, City Councillor Harkirat Singh is here. Harkirat, give us a wave. We declared a healthcare emergency. People said, why are you declaring an emergency? Normally that's for a tornado or an extreme weather event or a railway accident. We said, no, we're declaring an emergency because we want to draw attention to the fact that our city is being mistreated when it comes to healthcare funding. And the next day in the provincial legislature, they're asking the health minister, what's happening in Brampton? They declared a healthcare emergency. That's why we declared the emergency, to start the conversation, to push the government to respond. And 2 years later, we get that announcement in the provincial budget that the funding would be coming. Listen, it doesn't solve everything, but it's the biggest step forward we've had in the city on healthcare in 20 years. At the same time, you mentioned the university. And I'm going to single out Councillor Santos, because when we lost the Ryerson satellite campus, I remember her coming to my office and saying, we can't accept no as an answer. When they're saying we don't deserve a university, we can't accept no, because young people in our city deserve to have the same educational opportunities that they do in other cities. And if Waterloo and Kingston and other cities can have a university, why can't we in Brampton as well? We're not second-class citizens in our city. And I remember hearing Rowena's words and being so proud of her tenacity, saying that we should demand better and demand more, and immediately started an advocacy campaign that said we deserve a university. And we made some progress. In the last provincial budget, they announced that Brampton is getting the first new medical school in 100 years in the GTA. And that the first class is going to be in 2025. Mohammed Lashmi, who's the president of the Toronto Metropolitan University, is spearheading the project, and he poached someone from my office to come work on the project. I was a little bit sad because she's great, but he stole Urs here to work on this project for the new medical school. Urs, give us a wave. Normally when someone takes someone from your office, you're sad, but I know she's going to do a great job with the medical school, and the first class will be in 2025. But you're right, we deserve a university. And when I look at some of the councillor candidates here today and some of the councillors, we're not going to be quiet. We're not going to be shy when we say that Brampton deserves a university. Med school is great, but that's only the first step. The second step is we do deserve a Brampton University, and we will be vocal about it because young people in our city deserve that. You know, I look at the work we're doing on the environment. We're going to have the first electrified transit fleet in the entire country, the cleanest, greenest transit system in the country. We're making progress on the environment in a very tangible way because we owe that obligation to the next generation. The investments in active transportation are unparalleled in terms of other big cities. We just brought in free transit. This is something Councillor Basante was working on. Free transit for seniors. First big city in Canada with free transit for all our seniors. Sorry, Mean, you're not a senior yet. But for all our seniors who built our city, you can now ride Brampton Transit for free. And I should know Councillor Basante has been our chair of our Economic Development Department committee. And there's some really exciting things happening in economic development. We've seen a record number of building permits for office space. But one of my favorite examples of the growth we're seeing in jobs, has anyone heard of MDA? And there, you got one there, Badar. Thank you, Badar. MDA is an aerospace company. And so literally they hire rocket scientists. Their new headquarters, their expanded headquarters, this giant new building that they're building, is going to host 800 jobs, 800 rocket science jobs. So you know when you watch the movies and you hear, "Hello Houston," you know, in all the space movies, "Hello Houston," we're going to start hearing "Hello Brampton." And we talk about good paying jobs. You don't get better jobs than rocket science jobs. So the International Space Station has robotics that work and service the International Space Station. Those robotics are built, designed, and serviced in Brampton. And so when you need to monitor them, or you need to have any work done, they have to radio in, I don't know, radio, whatever it is, the technology to communicate with the International Space Station into Brampton. And that's an example of jobs of the future that are happening right in our city. You know, we're diversifying recreation in a way that we've never seen before. For far too long, we've built recreation like it was the 1970s. I want to give a shout out to Councillor Michael Paleshi, who has been very passionate about this as well. Thank you, Michael. Michael, give us a wave. He's hiding in the back. Well, there's traditional sports that a city invests in, but the city is in 2022 is different than it was in 1970. And so I remember Councillor Paleshi around the table saying, I want to see investments in sports like field hockey, where we're now in his ward building a dome facility.